Feel like joy kind of is moments. And sorry, I get emotional when I talk about things, but I feel like you can find moments of joy in everything that you do. But I don't think that you can always be joyful. I feel like there's always times when something will steal it, or you just give up on the idea of it. And so sometimes, because of the fact that you don't have that feeling, when you get there, you're so terrified of having it that you kind of just give up. So, so I am Daniela Martinez. I'm 37. I'm from San Diego, originally from New York and Buenos Aires, Argentina. So for me, growing up in New York, I didn't really have a childhood. So I didn't grow up in a joyful environment. So I've always kind of chased the idea of what that is. Is that building relationships? Is it career? Is it life in general? Is it building families? Is it all of that? And joy kind of encompasses everything. And so a thief of joy for me is the lack of those things. And so until you feel complete in love and family, in your environment, in your career, I feel like joy kind of is moments. And sorry, I get emotional when I talk about things, but I feel like you can find moments of joy in everything that you do. But I don't think that you can always be joyful. I feel like there's always times when something will steal it, or you just give up on the idea of it. And so you yourself can be your own thief because you hide or you suppress those feelings because you think you can't achieve it. But it's just from a lack of understanding and a lack of experience with that feeling. And so sometimes, because of the fact that you don't have that feeling, when you get there, you're so terrified of having it that you kind of just give up. So my journey to joy was actually leaving New York. Growing up, just because um, it's such a hard city to live in. You don't really have a childhood. You make lots of friends and you have lots of people in your circles, but there's never really moments where you can just thrive in that because it's such a hard city to be in. I feel like as an adult, you get that more. And I feel like leaving New York allowed me to have that because California really is like, I mean, San Diego specifically is very like vacation-y, and lots of people here are very happy. And it's a very, I guess, joyful city in the sense that because it's so transitory, a lot of people come in and are always happy to be here and then leave when they're not anymore. And so this city just thrives in that kind of environment of happiness. It's always sunny here, except for recently. We're a very energetic city in the sense that we have now lots of music festivals. We're bringing in lots of food festivals, and there's a lot of activities to do that bring those kinds of things out in people. And so I feel like you're able to thrive more in a happy space here in this city specifically than say in New York. So for me, moving here allowed me to see what joy could be. And so now I live a more joyful life and experience more joyful moments. So for me, like we just talked about, joy is something that you find in pockets of moments. And some people live there consistently, most people don't. And so to find those pockets, you have to have really been in a dark place to kind of have that yin yang where it's like, okay, I know what despair feels like. What does joy feel like? And that's the opposite, right? And so for me, when I was contemplating this menu, again, because of my background, I didn't start out with a very joyful life. So California was kind of my stepping stone to that. So when I came up with the concept of this menu, it was, where do we start? Do we start at my childhood, or do we start at when I came here and started to feel joy? And so I blended the two. So this menu is a, I guess, blend of what my childhood should have been and what my adulthood is. And so it's it's plays on childhood desserts or childhood kind of things that you enjoyed or that I enjoyed. When you were a kid, you wanted to eat desserts, right? And desserts were like the joyous, the most happy moments that you can have. And so, as a kid, how would you want to start dinner? You wanted to start dinner with dessert. And so that's where I started the conceptualization of this menu is, do we do just desserts, or do I do a play on desserts? And so we're doing a play on desserts where we're starting at the darkest and the heaviest, and then we're going to go to the brightest and lightest. So it'll be a transition from the depths until joy.